murdered or something trying to hitchhike your way over the divide. MK, I saved your perky ass and you know it. I rolled my eyes at her dramatics. I was going to Uber, not hitchhike, and West Shadow Grove is not exactly the seventh circle of hell. Her eyes rounded as she looked out over the crowd, gathered to watch the fights. It may as well be. You know how many people get killed in West Shadow Grove every day? I narrowed my eyes and called her factual bluff. I don't actually. How many? I don't either, she admitted. But it's a lot. She nodded at me, like that made her statement more convincing, and I laughed. Whatever else she'd planned to say to convince me to leave was drowned out by the fight commentator. My attention left Bree in a flash, and I strained to see the octagon. Even standing on the generator box for height, we were still far enough away that the view was shitty. My excitement peaked, bubbling through me like champagne as I twisted my sweaty hands in the stretchy fabric of my dress. The commentator was listing his stats now. 6'4", 202 pounds, 23 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. 0 losses. This guy was freaking born for MMA. It wasn't an official fight. Quite the opposite. So they didn't elaborate any more than that. There was no mention of his age, his hometown, his training gym. Nothing. Not even his name. Only...
Please give it up for...
The commentator gave a dramatic pause, whipping the crowd into a frenzy.
The mysterious, the undefeated, the Archer!
He bellowed the fighter's nickname, and the crowd freaking lost it, myself included. Paranoid by I Prevail poured from the speaker beside us, and by the time the tall hooded figure had made his way through the crowd with his team tight around him, my throat was dry and scratchy from yelling. Even from this distance, I trembled with anticipation and randomly pictured what it would be like to climb him like a tree. Except naked. I'm going to guess this is why we came? Bree asked in a dry voice, wrinkling her nose and making her kitty whiskers twitch. Her costume wasn't as absurd as it could be, since most members of the crowd were in some form of Halloween costume. Even the fighters tonight wore full face masks, and the commentator was dressed as the Grim Reaper. You know it is, I shot back, not taking my gaze from the octagon for even a second. I hardly dared blink for fear of missing something. One of his support team, a guy only a fraction shorter with a similar fighter's physique and a ball cap pulled low over his face, took the robe from his shoulders, and my breath caught in my throat. His back was to us, but every hard surface was decorated with ink. We were too far away to see details, but I knew, from my borderline obsessive stalking, that the biggest tattoo on his back was of a geometric stag shot with arrows. It was how he'd gotten his nickname. The stag represented his star sign, Sagittarius. The Archer. Holy shit! Bree gasped, and I knew without looking at her she had suddenly discovered a love for MMA. They say he's being scouted for the UFC, I babbled to her, except they said he has to stop all underground cage matches, and apparently he told them to shove it. Bree made a sound of acknowledgement, but knowing her, she didn't even know what the UFC was, let alone understand what an incredible achievement that was for a young fighter. Shh, I said, even though she hadn't spoken. It's starting. In the makeshift octagon, the Archer and his opponent, both wearing nothing but shorts and a plain mask, tapped gloves, and the fight was officially on. Totally enthralled by the potential of the main event fight, I waited eagerly to see how it was all going to pan out. Would it be an even match of skills and strength spanning all 5 rounds, or would it be a total domination by one fighter? I could only cross my fingers and hope the Archer hadn't grown cocky with his recent successes and ended up KO'd in 30 seconds like Ronda Rousey. The other guy struck first, impatient and impetuous. Watching the way the Archer blocked his attack, then struck back with a vicious jab to the face and knee to the side, I could already tell it would be over before the end of the first round. Damn, he's quick, I commented.